Hi, Jack. Welcome.
Hi, Jess. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Welcome to Why I Built This. I'm so excited to talk to you about the rushing hour today from the comfort of our own homes here in Sydney.
Oh,
So just to get us started, do you want to just really quickly give me your elevator pitch for the rushing hour?
right. Yeah. So the Rushing Hour is a monochromic fashion label brand for women doesn't have time for bullshit, right? So like it's career driven women. They they are very value driven in their fashion choices, but at the same time they don't want to look tacky. They want to be able to wear those clothes to the boardroom and be able to go to the date afterwards.
Perfect.
That's the Rushing Hour.
And so, what do you think is your purpose, your core purpose of the rushing hour?
Yeah, so I am fascinated about a couple of things when I first started this label. One is that I was one of the frustration is that I've realized at the time when I started there were a lot of fashion labels, especially in Australia, that are um, they started to do sustainable initiative, which is fantastic. But I have realized that there is a lot of repeated designs, such as lots of like t-shirts or baggy tunics, and it's just all seems like everyone who started to do this ethical starting point, they all ended up to have quite a similar look.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me it doesn't speak design. It doesn't speak creative enough. So I felt like there needs to be another brand in there that's a bit more high street, with really detailed crafting or tailoring, using ethical and sustainable fabric. That's the must.
Yeah.
But at the same time, also be very mindful about not producing another T-shirt in the marketplace.
Yeah, right. And so when you are designing and in your sort of creative flow, who are you designing for? Who do you have in mind that's wearing your clothes?
Yeah. So I when I first started, I kept thinking. I also had a photo shoot with a group of my friends, all from different background. So that was like the different background of women that I'm thinking, right? Like um, ethnic, um, like all sorts of women from all sorts of ethnic. They need to be able to wear my clothes and feel confident, to be able to go to work and then like be able to, even wear the clothes to go to the beach
Yeah.
without having to go, oh, that's more like a street dress, that's more like a day dress, like I don't really want to have my clothes to be categorized in a certain day, like a time frame,
Uh-huh.
sort of thing. So that is the women I'm thinking, and also definitely time poor, because most of the design is monochromic, and so the goal is that you could pick up any garment and match with anything that's the bottom, and they will always go together without having to think too much, but they all have intricate details that, so it sort of sets them apart from just a black shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So you would think it's a woman who I guess is confident in wearing something different and like you said, doesn't want to have to think too much about what she's wearing every day, and also has
Mm.
that core purpose, the same as the rushing hour, is looking for something that is sustainable but also like cool and fashionable.
Yeah, I think that's important, because every time I feel like I'm what's speaking from personal experience, if
Mm.
I wear something that's a bit more like um I guess if I just want to be comfort at home, I would just wear something that's super loose, pajama. We staying at home and just be like, wake up and working in pajama with my hair messy. And that's
Well, now.
kind of, yeah, and it kind of sets my productivity of the day.
Uh-huh.
But if I was going to wear something that's like, yeah, this jumpsuit cuts just perfect and the fabric is gorgeous and I love the design. Like if you have that emotional connection with that piece of garment and you put it on yourself,
Mm.
it just really uplifts the energy that can really carry you through the day. And I always think about that. And which is another reason of one of the design details is that every single garment I design at the back of the collar, instead of just the logo tag on it, every single garment comes with a different quote based uh, from a women game changer in the history.
Oh, wow.
So every garment is different. So I'm just picturing that second when you are flipping through what to wear during the day. And you know how like we always go, what am I gonna wear today?
Yeah.
What? How do? And then you ask, how do you feel first, right? I mean, that's what I do. I'm like, I kind of feel like I want to just be comfort today,
Yeah.
or like I'm just feeling a bit tired or something.
Yeah.
So all of these quotes kind of gives you that energy boost. I don't know. I think it's all
Cool.
about trying to find a connection.
So if you wake up one
Yeah.
morning and
So
you're
it's
like,
all
right,
about it.
I've got a major project due, or I'm on deadline, or I need to
Yeah.
like hit this
Yeah.
massive, like, I don't know, $100,000 target for the day. You can choose the
That's it.
outfit that's going to really, yeah, empower you.
Yeah.
I love that. That's very
Yeah. And one of the quote is like, you never, I forgot, was it Catherine something, I forgot the last name, but it says, you never know how strong a woman is until she get, oh, women is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she's in hot water. Oh my gosh.
wow. And isn't
That's
that
exactly,
true for where we are right
yes, 100%. Especially you working at home with two kids.
now?
I don't know how you do it.
It's the true test. At least my husband isn't home. At least he is going to work. So there's one less human out of the equation. I think. I don't know. I can't decide. Better having him around or not having him around. So tell me, Jack, what is something that you wish you had have known before you started out? Was there something that you kind of think, oh God, if I had have known that?
Yeah, everything about running a business, pretty
Yeah.
much, because I am a more of a creative person. I'm a big picture person, and like so, whenever I think about every a challenge, I always am super optimistic as well. So I'm always like, yep, we can do everything, like. So at the time when I started the business, I was like, how hard is it? And that point I had like $500. I don't like, and I had to borrow money to make like production and stuff, but like, yeah, so that's one thing I'm like, I need to learn all of this business side of things. I wish I knew before I started. I wish I have asked more people's experience, if they had run the similar type of business, as in product based business.
Yeah.
And I wish I had done some more personal, like deep soul searching before I
Mhm.
start, because as much as I have so much passion for and voicing the sustainability, and giving back to society, all of that, I think fashion is perfect as a platform for me to express that, right? I didn't calculate how much more is involved in terms of marketing it, how much more is involved in terms of productions and quality control, all of this. And as one person, we can't be good at everything. So my strength is obviously design, and my role is like my key role is making sure that the product comes out from whatever I do is up to my own expectation. It's good enough to go out there. But what I am lacking is everything else to the detail stuff, right? Like production, logistics, and having a product business is basically 80% logistics.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
not
that is
all the creative, all the creative side of
no,
it.
no. So that is, I have realized that in a hard way.
Yeah. And so you have chosen to go down the road of a sustainable and ethical brand, and I guess that
Yeah.
brings its own challenges rather than going down the fast fashion, you know,
Yeah.
not care about where things are produced or how they're made or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you proud of that decision to go down the ethical and sustainable road? And if you had your time again, would you still make that decision?
100%. And that's the one reason why I started it, because I was like, there's way too much. Um, okay. So also because I was working in the whole creative industry before.
Mhm.
And that to me just starting to become like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want to sell fat food to fat kids anymore. You
Mm,
know, like there are so many designers out there. They're just happy to do a campaign for McDonald's. I'm like, oh, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, so that to me is not value. That to me is just you're doing what people want you to do. You're not asking yourself if that aligns to your value. And that's when I said no to that whole world. And doing this, it's kind of like me expressing myself to the world. This is what I've got to say, and also I don't want to just put a collection together. I want to tell the story of why um, everyone has got a different perspective to what's sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, like my definition is different to other brands for sure. You know, like for example, some other brand might be going everything is made in Australia, that's sustainable, and that to me is like a definitely not my perspective
Hmm.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. I
And
mean,
just on.
yeah, so many
Mm,
different, and that's why I think people find it so hard to see through all the greenwashing. So tell us,
yeah.
what is your version of sustainable? What?
Yeah, so I think it's not about where it's made, it's about how it's made. And as long as you can actually step into the production procedures and see every single part of the process,
Mm.
um, then you're in good hands. So another part of from my research is that 92% of fashion labels in Australia, they don't know where their fabrics made from. Like you can have everything that's made in Australia, that's sewn in Australia, seamstress, all of that, fantastic. But most majority of our cotton, we all know that if we did some of the research, most of majority of cotton is grown in either Southeast Asia or India or like Italy or like Portugal, that type of climates,
Yeah.
and so it has to come from somewhere that has the farm and forestries to foster it, right?
Mm.
So, and I think that's very important. And that's 90% of the production line.
Yeah.
Like
That's,
if you just buy the fabric from the store and get someone to sew it, then I mean that's only like a small portion of it, you know.
yeah.
So and I sort of chosen to go with. I've done some research and I found this factory, and they are producing. They're also producing Patagonia stuff and also Eileen Fishers.
Right.
So that to me is a proven point because someone else, like the big brands, has already done the hard work for me.
Yeah.
They've already done the the um, the monitoring. I'm sure they are keeping an eye on the monitoring. So that to me is trust.
Yeah.
And then as I start digging deeper, and I also visited the factory in China that they're based. They're one of Patagonia supply chain in China,
Yeah.
and so I also visited the factory, which is about like if you fly to Qingdao, and then it's about like 3 hours drive from there. And say that they took me there, and it was such an eye-opening experience.
Mm.
It's the factory owner. It's actually used to live in the same town, so he
Oh,
was the one of the successful entrepreneur
yeah.
that started this like production company and set up the factory and
Mm.
started to get orders, and then he started to work with all like Patagonias and stuff, and then so he wanted to make sure everyone in the factory is in good hand because they're essentially their neighbors.
Yeah.
They all know each other. He's from there, his family is still there.
Yeah.
And so when I went there, it was eye-opening because like the entire town pretty much get employed by this factory, right? Which
Wow.
is incredible because
Yeah.
it's such a small. And they also grow their own potatoes. And yeah, so like the potato is grown there inside the factory, so they take turns to look after it, and they have a full-on kitchen with like families and like not volunteers, but like they would get their moms to come to be the kitchen and work in the kitchen or something for like a couple of hours. And every person, all of the workers in the factory gets 1.5 hour break at lunchtime, and it's all catered. And I ate there. I've got photos on my website
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
um uh, it was delicious, oh my gosh. Yeah, and that, I mean, I'm just thinking, looking at that, and I'm just thinking you guys are in good hands, you know, because I've never worked in a place that feeds me lunch.
No, no, that sounds
I've,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and I never worked in a place that has shuttle bus as well, so that they can get to work on the shuttle bus if they choose to. Most people have like scooters, but
Yeah.
if they choose to ride the shuttle bus, they can.
Yeah.
And that's all free, and it's all like in a town, in the same town. It's like maybe 20 minutes away to everyone's home, so they
Yeah.
all know each other, so
And
it's quite like a nice community feel.
yeah, no one's having to like
Yeah,
leave their children for months at a time to go and work in this particular factory.
yeah,
Is what you know
yeah,
is so common, I guess, with the fast fashion brands, that people are having to leave their children behind with their grandparents and go and work in the factory. So that sounds nice that it's
yeah,
it's in their town. Um,
exactly, so that the woman can work and then look after the kids at the same time.
yeah, and I agree. Like Patagonia, they wouldn't let anything slip through their supply chain.
Yeah, exactly. And then so another thing I've discovered while I was there is that all of their hemp and linen, they're grown in this forestry, that like the farm that they also look after. So they work with the farmers to grow all those hemps and organic cottons, and mostly hemp. They work a lot with a lot of hemp and linen.
Yeah,
And so they look after that as well, so it's like within the bird's eye view of an entire production chain. And
yeah,
they also the offcuts and stuff that gets collected onto a pile, and these pile of things then gets shipped to a sub um, division, which is in another city. So they have a different division that's just doing recycling.
right.
So all these offcuts goes to this recycling place, and then they do the recycling. And it might turn into like sheets or pillowcases and more like household little textiles
Yeah,
items instead of garments, because it's quite difficult to repurpose it for garment trims and stuff.
yeah,
It's
that's
not
right.
productive enough.
Big odd shapes. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's great that they're not just sending it to landfill.
yeah.
Tell me something that you are curious about right now. Anything at all? What are you curious
Anything. Oh my God. Um, that's a big question.
about?
Um, you know what? I am curious that we will all look back at this lockdown,
Mm,
which I actually am very optimistic about this. I'm seeing this as an opportunity for the world to grow, actually. So I'm thinking maybe a couple of months later, we're going to look at this and then see how much people appreciate everything that
mm,
we have in nature, you know, like
yeah,
now it now that there's not much traffic, and then you just go outside, you're like, you know, I just enjoy this clean air, blue sky, there's so many stars now. And just that's like that whole level of stress of traffic is not there anymore.
mm,
And I mean, you can see like in Italy, like the river in Venice is all cleaned up, and all that kind of like the Mother Earth is starting to heal. And I just hope that everyone can look at this and go, it's actually a good thing. I think we should just get a lockdown once a month per year or something.
I know. I'm definitely curious about that too. It's just yeah. I mean, who even knows when this will end? And yeah,
Mm.
I'm very curious to see how we come out of it, like you said, and what's changed, and if we will feel that way for a couple of weeks and then go back to rushing around again. So hope
Yeah.
I really hope not.
I yeah, and I hope like the small business can heal from this because eventually they are the biggest victim
Yeah.
from this, you know. And I think for yourself, for me, it's we're pretty much all probably all experiencing the same thing. I mean,
Mm.
with the rushing hour as a small label, and it's all my savings in it, I'm not expecting anything to happen, you know. So but all the business expenses is still going out of the bank at the moment, so I'm just like
I know.
it will be like, yeah, it will be like the last collection I'm doing this year.
Yeah, right. Because you don't know what the end game is. You don't know when we'll be out of this.
Yeah, there is a couple of reasons actually. I mean, I think one of the reasons I've realized over the years is that um, I love creating things and then running, like going and showing it at the markets. And I think that's for me the most satisfying feeling because I can be there. I can see people's reaction when they wear it. And like that's really the reason why I do what I do. And I can tell them the story behind it, show them the quotes at the back of the collar, and they
Yeah.
all get like, wow. And they love it, you know. And sometimes I see people like sometimes I see like on the street someone's wearing my stuff and
Oh,
it
no
gets really
way.
like
That's
yeah satisfying to see. But
yeah.
at the same time, on like the business level, it's kind of like I said to you before, it's a logistic business, right?
Mm.
Eventually. So it doesn't matter how much I'm trying to be sustainable. The sad part is that I am still creating some sort of uh, byproduct out of this, I
Mm.
suppose, because it will never be a happy balance where one style, all of the style is completely sold out. So there is always, for every single product-based business, there's always this thing in my heart going, what am I going to do with the rest of them?
Ah.
So, but I mean, there is many ways right now, and how I'm solving that current problem is that I'm working with like Dress for Success. So I would donate stuff for Dress for Success, and
Well,
I would also work for. There's another one, Threat for Life or something. Threat. I
ah.
can't remember the name exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they come and collect it, and they would also like it has to be brand new stock, and then they would like give it to less fortunate families or women that looking for new outfits to
Mm.
build a new life or something. And I think that's really all great and purposeful, but at the same time I just feel like it's very tiring
Yeah.
for all business.
Yeah. Thread together, I think it is
Yes, that's
Thread
it.
Together?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have heard of them. I guess the good thing about your pieces is that they are timeless, and so you would
Mm.
know what season they're from or when you've designed them. But for someone like
Yeah.
me, I wouldn't know if it was something that was like 2 years
Yeah.
ago or or
Yeah.
anything
Who
like that.
cares about seasons? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
I never. I never care about seasons. And then as soon as I got that thought out of my mind, it's so much less stress. I'll just do what I love.
Yeah,
And yeah.
yeah. It takes the
Yeah.
pressure off. So before we finish, tell me a little bit about what your day looks like now. You were saying before that
Okay.
you work from home anyway, normally, so maybe not much
Yeah.
changed.
it's actually a lot crazier now because I'm gonna just touch base on this because otherwise it'll be a whole can of worms. 3 weeks ago, when this whole lockdown thing started, I was, as everyone else, going, "Oh my God, there must be a better way." Like I'm sure we all think about how many older people that's out there and vulnerable people out there needs help, and then but then they're still going to supermarkets on their own, and
Mm.
and I'm just starting researching on like Facebook groups and to see what's the options out there to help these people, and there are tons of Facebook group. But I was like, there must be a better way, right? Like there's a lot of older people, they don't use Facebook. So I came across this Facebook group, and there's this lady going, I want to do something to change, help these people, but I don't know what yet. Like I'm open for suggestions, like anything. And I just emailed her and said, I'm a product designer. I can come up with a prototype in 3 days. Let's do this. So 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago, we started. Right now, we have 65 people in our Slack channel volunteering from all aspects of the business. And we are now up to phase 2 of user testing. We have a full tech team lined up, and we have an HR girl sorting out talents for us.
Wow.
And everybody is volunteering, and it's insane. We have writers, we have mentor, we have like strategists, product management, myself leading the creative team, a full 4 or 5 people in the branding and marketing team. Yeah, it's called One Another Community.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
no. So what? Yeah, what are you doing? What is everyone doing?
Oh, we are making a digital product that basically match whoever needs help with the volunteer that's near you.
Right. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Oh my God.
and the response, yeah, I mean that we get so much volunteers coming forward and they go, we want to do something, and that's like, oh my God, that's the reason why we do this for nothing. Because reading the incoming request to be a volunteer from these people, it's like, wow, this world is fantastic, and it's like fuel to keep going.
Oh,
And also we have like a full-on partnership person that's like calling out to organizations such as Cancer New South Wales or something,
yeah,
to partner with them so that we could actually help people that's in need. Because
yeah.
a lot of older people, they're not going to go to Facebook and go, I need help.
No,
So we
that's
need these kind of like gatekeepers to come in. But it's just so it blows my mind that everybody's volunteering, but they're there 10 a.m. every morning when we do a stand up, and we would just like solve problem as we go. And people just put their hands up for like whenever we need something. You put a call out there, and it's like, yep, I'm a strategist, I'm a UX writer, I can help you with this. And I was just
oh
like, wow,
wow. That's
it's
amazing.
incredible.
Well
Yeah.
done. Go you. Because I know that like at a very grassroots level, there's people around our neighborhood just dropping a letter in a letterbox saying,
Yeah.
here's my mobile. But I mean, that's on such a small scale. And,
That's what we're
how,
trying to do too.
yeah, how do you scale that up and
Yeah.
I guess rally everyone together? And that's what you're doing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
How do I volunteer? How do we sign up?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a link, but basically if you go to one another, so it's one another, like helping one another, and
Yeah,
dot community. So that's the landing page website that's up at the moment. And then on the landing page you can click I need help or I want to help. And when you click I want to help, it should take you to little like a form, so like a type form
yeah,
thing. And then yeah, and then so what happens right now is that we collect the volunteers' detail based on their location and what they are happy to help with,
mhm,
such as if they have like a car and they're happy to drop off groceries, then we will match them with manually at the moment
yeah.
with someone that has requested similar thing in the similar neighborhood. And then we'll just call them out, like we have like community manager.
Wow, Jack, that's incredible. You know who this would be so beneficial for?
Tell
Um,
me.
I see it a lot in the Facebook
Yeah.
groups I'm part of, but single parents, like
Yeah.
moms or single dads that
Yeah.
like you don't want to take your kids to Coles. And so
No.
how do these people get supplies or any of that kind of stuff? So and that these people
Yeah.
would be active on social media and Facebook groups. So
That's right. And is there a Facebook group that's like for this type of single parents?
yeah,
I-
yeah, there
Is
is.
there?
Yep. There's like single
Okay.
mums of the inner west or single mums of North Shore, all of that kind
Okay.
of stuff. So you would
Okay.
just message the admin and tell
Yeah.
them, hey, we've got this service available. Um,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, so we have a PR girl that's doing all of that as
Oh
well. So
wow.
we're like full team. So this is when I realized I shouldn't run a business on my own. It's a team effort.
I know people are expensive too, but I guess
Hmm.
doing something like this, everyone's really um, intrinsically motivated, not financially
Yeah.
motivated. So that
Yes, 100%.
that makes a big
I
difference.
love it. Follow our journey.
Yes, I know. So back to the rushing hour. If
Yeah.
we are obviously all working from home at the moment, what would be your go to the rushing hour work from home outfit if I was to jump online and buy something for myself?
For work from home.
Yeah, on
Oh
all my
my
Zoom calls that I'm
God.
doing all day.
The jumpsuit, that's for sure. Like the over, like,
All right.
the the jumpsuit that's called jam, overall jam, and
Yeah.
it's organic linen black, and it's baggy, super baggy. It's like you can just wear a sports bra
Nice.
and that jumpsuit and you look chic as hell, but at the same time it's like I'm so chic but I'm cool, but I don't give a fuck.
That nailed it. Nailed it. That's exactly the work from home outfit
Yeah.
I would be looking for. Well,
Yeah,
thank you very much for your time. I
thank you, and it's lovely to see you.